Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. Video number 2 of 2. Actually, I've got a surprise for you. It's video 3 of 3. Why? It's 3 because I've given you a video earlier on to do with the sacking of Antonio Conte. That was uploaded earlier this morning, so make sure you catch that. That is already on the channel and ready to be seen after you're done with this. And also second channel, link in the description, Younes Talks, first video back on there for anyone that is actually interested on creating content, becoming a YouTuber. If you want a tip from myself, head over to Younes Talks, and there will be more, various, all sorts of topics that will be discussed on Younes Talks very consistently starting from today. So make sure you go over there and check it out. And this is your third video of the day, technically. Second on here, where we're going to dive into the Chelsea news and see what has been going on at Chelsea. And has Todd Boehly found another loophole? Has he? Maybe he has. Anyway, before we get into everything, the usual formalities, make sure you check out the socials, Twitter and Instagram, link in the description, as well as the second channel that I've discussed, link in the description. Make sure you are subbed and following on all of those. Now, let's get cracking. So, before we get into the whole, has Todd Boehly found another loophole? We've got news. We've got news given to us by Florian Plettenberg, the Sky Sports reporter over in Germany, very heavily affiliated with Bayern Munich, who has given some news on Julian Nagelsmann. So without further ado, here it is. News. Nagelsmann, understand he's on the shortlist of CFC in case that Potter should be dismissed. But important, Chelsea wants to continue with Potter. The bosses support him, but he has to deliver now. Julian Nagelsmann is unlikely to take over a new job immediately. Now, when you think of it in that limelight, so we've learned two things here, right? Thing number one, Potter's not going anywhere. Unless if we literally lose, then maybe we might have to take action. I think it all depends on the Champions League game against Real Madrid and those two legs. If we got a result, then happy days. The fact that we're in 10th, nothing happening in the league. The bosses, the owners are probably looking at this going, well, okay, what more can we possibly do? However, the Champions League has something to win. So it's probably laying on that. However, we are so close to the end of the season now that they're probably just going to review again, unless we went on a really bad, catastrophic run of form where action has to be taken. The one positive, though, which is the second thing we've learned, is Julian Nagelsmann isn't actually in a hurry to get back to work. So you know what? Albeit Tottenham have sacked Antonio Conte, albeit there's a vacancy available now. The fact that Stellini over there is taking the job until the end of the season tells me that they're going to, definitely look to recruit, but not recruit up until the end of the season, which Chelsea are probably in the same position for. If they were to review Graham Potter's position and think we need to make a change, it will 99.9% more likely be made at the end of the season compared to any time now. So, Julian Nagelsmann at the end of the season is a possibility. Let's see. I have to say, look, on the basis of that, I think it's only fair in that case, albeit you can have your opinion. I have my opinion on Graham Potter, right? Am I convinced? No. Ultimately, no. But does he deserve up until the end of the season now to see what he can do? Let's do it. You can't take it away from him. The Everton result was not good enough, for sure. We'll see on our first game back how we do. That's going to be a key indicator. And then we've got a heavy month of April where it's going to be football bonanza. We're going to just be non-stop every 3 days, match after match after match after match. So with the Real Madrid games in between that, it's going to be key. And that will tell us everything we need to know. Then at the end of the season, we'll know for sure if a change needs to be made, or if he actually does get good results out of the team and we think, you know what, we have something to build on here. Let's keep it going. So, Julian Nagelsmann at the end of the season. At the end of the season, I don't just think it will be Nagelsmann that will be available. At least to take for a new club, like if it were Chelsea or even Spurs. I think other managers will be, let's say, on the market because it will be end of the season and it will be about paying out their contracts if they are currently employed. But Nagelsmann, currently a free agent, definitely would be a good one to get. As far as I'm concerned, I think for either Chelsea or even for Spurs, because they're obviously looking for a new manager. But when I'm talking about Chelsea, Nagelsmann, for me, definitely fits a little bit better than Graham Potter does. Is he the finished article? No. Even Nagelsmann, is he, the best thing since sliced bread? Well, no. He's obviously got things to prove. But Christopher Vivel at Chelsea, the technical director, I think is going to be the one that will drive this. Why? Because he's worked with him before. And they had a great relationship before. And it worked quite well when they were together at Leipzig. So you know what? That is where I think any chance is actually being driven from. And I've got to be honest, if results don't improve, I don't see Chelsea hesitating now. Why? Because Christopher Vivel is there and will happily tell the owners, yo, look, trust me, we got to make this change now. Let's do it. I've worked with the guy. You won't regret it. I feel like he has an option to be able to convince the Chelsea owners at any time where needed. But I do think Graham Potter will get until the end of the season, and it's up to him. Get the results. No change needs to be made. Don't get the results. We will need to make a change. Simple as that. Simple as that. And that's the ethos of modern football now. A project is only a project when the results are coming in. Pep got a project because he was getting results. Klopp got a project because he was getting results. And people are going to say, yeah, but he finished 8th in his first season and whatnot. Well, it was a constant sign of progress. In his very, very first season, he beat us. His first month or so at Liverpool, he beat Jose Mourinho's Chelsea, albeit we were going into freefall. But it's a sign. There has to be levels of progress. There has to be levels of going in the right direction. And when that's not there, it's not ideal. So change needs to be made. However, with us and our circumstances right now, we will see how we end the season under Graham Potter. Again, as I've said, unless things really, really head south, which to be honest, I don't think they will. If you're asking for my prediction, I think we get knocked out of the Champions League eventually. I'm being honest with you. I think in the league we will hit a couple of road bumps, and then I think Graham Potter sees out the season. And then to be honest, I do think there's a chance he will get replaced. I will be honest there. I think Nagelsmann is a guy that will be driven by Vivel, and will Chelsea probably end up pursuing? I would say yes. Anyway, that's the latest with Graham Potter, Nagelsmann, and that situation. Let's dive into the loophole. Let's dive into the loophole. So, I'm not going to hesitate. I'm going to show you right now. Check this out from the Times. If Chelsea do not qualify for the Champions League, Europa League or Europa Conference League, and given they are 10th in the Premier League table, that is a strong possibility, then they will not be under UEFA's jurisdiction for FFP next season. You know what? In that case, lads, let's just lose every single game we got now. don't finish 8th. Don't even finish 9th. We don't want to get close to the Conference League spot. Let's just stay in 10th. Yeah, let's just stay in 10th. No, obviously I'm kidding. But the FFP, people got to remember, FFP is a UEFA rule, right? And if you're not competing in UEFA competition, then am I right in saying that the loophole is that we wouldn't be liable to any FFP regulation? Am I right? Is that the loophole? Because if that's the case, then Chelsea can just go and spend crazy if they want. Actually, no. That's telling a lie. We won't be able to spend crazy. But any FFP regulation will not be applicable for next season. So when the accounts do come in eventually, and they look back at next season, it won't apply because, FFP rules won't apply because we're not in any UEFA competition. So there's that. However, we got to balance things out, and we got to balance things out right, because it's not just FFP financial rules we got to get around, right? And we're not trying to get around anything, to be honest. Let's be honest, yeah? Let's put our hands up here, yeah? We're innocent, yeah? We're not trying to, be active in any criminal activity here, yeah? We're not trying to get into anything scandalous. But FFP rules won't apply? Cool. Premier League rules. Premier League have financial rules that we've got to make sure we adhere to. So it's not all guns blazing, calm down. I will show you this. This is from the Times as well, and it quotes Kieran Maguire, who's a big football finance author, who comes and says this: Chelsea face having to raise substantial amounts of cash by selling off players this summer to avoid breaching the Premier League's financial rules next year after reporting large losses for a second successive season. Kieran Maguire, a football finance author, said the club will be dancing on the head of a pin to try to avoid breaching the Premier League's financial rules this time next year, which allows maximum losses of £105 million over a rolling 3-year period. And this is where it gets serious, right? This is where there's no loophole. You can't beat around this. Is that last year we had losses, yeah? This year, it's come out today, in regards to last year, so the accounts of last year, with the whole everyone coming back to watch football, Roman sanctions, all of that, right? We ended up in a loss overall of, I think, if I'm quoting correct, of 120 odd million pounds, I think it is. So that, again, that's the second year consecutively where we've had big losses. We can't have it for one more year. If we have losses again next year, we'll be in big trouble. We'll be in big trouble. But Premier League will be on our case. And I actually don't know what the punishment would be, but there will be some sort of punishment to face. If we do breach those rules that are set up by the Premier League, we need to be in the black, as they say, right? Which means in economic terms, you're basically in the green. Yeah, people know it as green, which means that you're in a plus, and red means you're in a minus. Black in economic terms means that you're in a good place instead of saying green. So we need to find ourselves in a plus. We have to. We need to be in a positive state of affairs economically at Chelsea, which means that, look, we're going to be forced to sell. Which leads me back to the point I've been saying about Mason Mount. This is why he's definitely going. Chelsea are not in a position where they have to give everything that Mason wants. They're not, because they have to raise the money. And Mason is definitely going to be a player that brings in, I'd say, most out of anyone that we're looking to sell. So Chelsea are not in a position where they're going to be desperate. Absolutely not. In fact, they're desperate to get rid. And if Mason isn't going to agree, Chelsea will be like, okay, thank you very much. We will see you later then. And the same goes for some other players. Now, Mendy could be out of the door. We're looking at other players that could be heading out of the door. Is Kai Havertz's position safe and Nkunku's going to be coming in? That's something that we've got to bring up. João Felix, let's be honest. João Felix, are we going to spend 85 million on João Felix if we were to try and make him permanent? That's something we need to, I think, would go hand in hand with Kai Havertz, if I'm honest. There's one link that's been made lately by Manchester City for Ben Chilwell. Now, I don't think Chelsea will actively try to sell Ben Chilwell. But if City come in with a price that Chelsea can't refuse, I have to be honest and say I think Chelsea's heads would be turned. And I think Chelsea could entertain knowing that they've got Cucurella at the club and will try and probably end up getting a backup left back or something like that. My tongue got twisted in the words of left back and backup. But if they have Cucurella, try and get someone a little bit cheaper as a backup, then get rid of Ben Chilwell. That could help the accounts. I'm not for it. I'm against that. I would love us to keep Ben Chilwell. Absolutely. I'm just saying what I think Chelsea might entertain, because we are in desperate need for selling players and having to get the accounts back into a good state, which means we need to sell players. So let me know down below, who do you think Chelsea should sell? That's what I want to ask. Who do you think Chelsea should get rid of? Not just in terms of players you want to see leave, if you do want to see any leave, but players that you think Chelsea will turn to and go, yo, we'll just have to let you go. Let me know down below. Much appreciated. And there we are. So we've got half a bit of a loophole in terms of FFP, but we've got Premier League rules, which are going to come to bite us anyway. So FFP in terms of spending, right? We might be able to get around. But in terms of selling, we need to sell players. So there we are. That basically summarizes Chelsea's economic state of affairs. Let me know your thoughts down below. And also let me know your thoughts on Nagelsmann and Graham Potter. What would you do? Who would you prefer? Let me know in the comments. Much appreciated. And I will see all of you tomorrow for a brand new video. Thank you all very much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you've enjoyed this. And I will see all of you tomorrow. Have a good one, people. See you then. Take care and peace.